Oh my.
I can see the angel coming for to sing his song. I can hear the drummer drumming. He's coming, and I won't be long. Hear the cry across the nations. People wanna be free, yeah. Free to leave the great plantations. Free to be who they want to be. I see it squeaks out freedom, and I won't be long.
Good morning, everybody. It's Everett with Ohio for Freedom, and you have tuned in, I hope, to the Ohio for Freedom podcast. And it is Friday, and it is the 23rd. Hi there, Julie. It is the 23rd of July in the year of our Lord 2021, and I am coming to you from Blackwall Studios here in northern Cincinnati, actually in Butler County. And hi there, Karen. And folks, I assure you, if you wanted a topic that would shrink your audience, you're going to get it today. I did not intend on talking about what I'm going to talk about. Good morning, Kate. I'm glad that you were able to make it. And I have no idea what Facebook does with notifications, but they do what they do. So as usual, if you're watching the replay, please like, please share, please subscribe. Please leave a comment. Zuckerberg hates it when you leave comments. And if you can find the Ohio for Freedom Facebook page, please follow it and like it. And it would be appreciated. Hi, Karen. Now listen, guys, I'm going to tell you right up. I had intended to talk about something else today. Okay. Actually, I'd intended to talk about the FBI, the corrupt FBI that is probably mostly responsible for everything bad that happened on January 6th. And I've got a lot of information and a lot of stuff, and, not stuff that originates with me. The biggest lead people on that right now is Revolver News, but I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about Nancy Pelosi really trying to keep people from finding out the truth about what she did and her involvement with the Capitol Police and her efforts to suppress everything, and wanted to talk about that. Got a lot of info, got it all lined up, but we're not going to talk about that. I'd also love to talk about what's going on with the states. And honestly, you'd have to, I think, stay up for several hours the very night before you wanted to do a program like this about states, because that's moving quick. Arizona, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and I mean, across, and pardon me, even in Oklahoma, they're wanting to do some auditing. And what's really, really cool is people are finding out that, hey, just because a certain person won doesn't mean that we don't want to take a look at all the other numbers to see what the numbers might have really been, or how it might have affected down ballot races or whatever. But we're not going to talk about that. And also, I would love to just comment on, I think the big story of the week was Stu Peters and Dr. David Martin talking about Rand Paul not delivering the knockout blow, and then Rand Paul, in my opinion, delivering the knockout blow, or coming very, very close, and following up with a promise to submit a criminal referral to the Department of Justice on little Lord Fauci Roy. But we're not going to talk about that. I talked yesterday. There's one comment I want to make. I love your song and would like to know where I can listen or save your song. Karen, I will say this. I'm in the middle of trying to get finished the project that song is on. Frankly, I need to do a little bit of crowdfunding, which I don't really know how to do. It's a little bit of a money issue here, but we actually want to put this out in a suitable form, and I'm really, really, really close to being able to do that. And so I'll keep you posted on that. But thank you. When I wrote that song, I had no idea that we'd be in the situation that we're in. So anyway, let me just keep moving, and because here's where I want to go, folks. My goal today, once I was resigned to this is what we're going to talk about, that I'm going to talk about. My goal today is, besides shrinking my audience because nobody wants to hear about this, my goal today is to just scratch the surface, to make a dent, because this is what we're going to speak about today is something that most of us are not familiar with. I certainly was not familiar with even this concept a little over a year ago. And yet it's all pervasive and it's moving forward. And there are people, elites, that absolutely believe that the sky is their limit, that they have no bounds, they can do whatever they want. So let me start with this. I'm not just going to be talking about Policy Horizons Canada, but this is the big picture that they want to show on their website for this particular topic, exploring biodigital convergence. Now, folks, I want to, if you don't mind, and I think I'm going to record a little clip, question of the show. So here's my question of the show. Are you familiar with, and I mean like kind of up to date with, are you familiar with, here it is, drum roll please, transhumanism? If you are, please type yes. If it's like, what, I'm not real sure what that is, please type no. But folks, when we look at this here, exploring biodigital convergence, that is just a soft labeling. Well, Stephanie says no. So Stephanie, you're why I'm doing this. And Julie says absolutely. All right, then. So when you look at this label, that is a PR softening for exploring transhumanism. And I talked about this lady, Kirsten van der Ilst, who's heading up Policy Horizons Canada yesterday. And I talked about the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab, talked about all of that. And by the way, I apologize, but I'm going to reiterate this. I do not know why. I can type World Economic Forum into all the search engines that I don't use, like Bing, which I never use, Google, which I never use. I do use DuckDuckGo, and even DuckDuckGo, it'll go right to that. It'll give me the opportunity to click. For some reason, if I use Dogpile, it does what I showed y'all yesterday. I have to do one of those CAPTCHA things, and then, click the sidewalks or click the bridges or whatever. And I know that that is a device to capture your IP address, but what is the relationship between Dogpile and World Economic? I don't quite understand that, but I know that it's creepy. So let me keep this moving right along. And I think what I want to do and folks, this will be rough. And look, if I can just plant something or further your understanding of this a little bit, or at least introduce the subject, I will be accomplishing my mission for this, because I guarantee you, if I were to take a camera and just start walking out in a parking lot at Kroger's or Myers or Menards or whatever and say, what do you know about transhumanism? I guarantee you 95% would be, huh? What? So I want to play a clip from 2017. This lady works for Facebook. Let me play the clip, and that'll get us started
today. And tomorrow, this is our goal at Facebook, to create and ship category-defining consumer products that are social first, to do so at scale, and to power this with a breakthrough innovation engine modeled after DARPA. Products that recognize we are both mind and body, that our world is both digital and physical, that seek to connect us with the power and possibility of what's new, while honoring the intimacy and the richness of what's timeless. Products that refuse to accept false choices. And it's just the kind of fluid human-computer interface needed for AR. Even something as simple as a yes-no.
Okay, I'm going to pause right there. And I want to point out just a couple of things. First of all, she is talking about Facebook developing products to ship out. Now, I'm not sure what ship out means, but products. And did you notice that she used the word DARPA? DARPA. And I don't even know the exact acronym right now, but it's the Department of Defense. Former people from DARPA, Department of Defense Advanced Technologies, these creepy people are working with Silicon Valley and working with Facebook to create products that are consistent with all the cutting edge things that DARPA can do. And any way you spin it, folks, if it comes from the Department of Defense, what do they develop? Hello, by definition, weapons. So whatever kind of benevolent language they want to put on it or benign language they want to put on it, folks, this is very, very, very creepy. And so let me just get back into the clip and we'll back up just a bit. And here we go.
Brain click would fundamentally change our capability. A brain mouse for AR. So what if instead of using imagined arm movements, we could decode speech directly? Now, to be clear, we are not talking about decoding your random thoughts. That might be more than any of us care to know. And it's not.
Okay, aren't you comforted by that? They're not wanting to decode your random thoughts. That would be maybe more than anyone would want to know. Oh, so they want to be able to decode thoughts, but only the thoughts that you're okay with them decoding. And so what? You're going to be able to draw the line in your brain. The implant can only access these kind of thoughts. Your brain mouse can only decode certain kind of thoughts. Or, maybe they're going to come up with the technology. And trust us, we won't decode the thoughts that you don't want us to decode. Now, folks, listen. This lady is making a lot more money than anybody in this audience, I bet. Okay, she's really doing this for a living, and she's really talking about devices in your brain that decode thoughts. So don't look at me like I'm crazy. I already know that I'm crazy. Okay, I don't need you to tell me that. But I'm not crazy because I'm listening to this. This is the lady that's saying these things, and she really has a job, and she really has credentials, and she really works for Facebook, and she's really saying this stuff. And let's keep listening to what else she has
Something
to say.
any of us should have a right to know. Better yet, with the ability to text a friend without taking out your phone, or to send a quick email without missing the party. No more false choices.
Okay, we can get out of that now. No more false choices. By the way, real life church with Pastor Dan is in the house. We appreciate that. And I'm going to keep some things under wraps, but we are working together on an event that's coming up in September. I don't know if we can consider that confirmed yet. I mean, on my part, it's confirmed, but the details and the way that we present it's confirmed. So I'm very excited about that, Pastor Dan. And Pastor Dan is saying, brain the swamp. But folks, I'm just trying to introduce the subject. This is the way that some people really think. And if you go back into that clip where she was talking about the brain mouse, now she had a lady pictured that has ALS, that's immobilized, completely paralyzed, and she's able to type with her brain at a very slow rate of speed, but it'll be picking up. And so, of course, you think, well, my goodness, if we could use technology to help someone in that desperate situation, that would be a good thing. You would also think, well, if we can use, genetics to help people that have, deformities or have all kind of, medical issues, that would be a good thing. Yeah, but folks, do you really think that that's all that who's they, the people that want to do this? Do you really think that that's all that they are after? Do you really trust them with that? I mean, my answer would be no. I'm going to ask one more question if you're participating, and I appreciate it. And then I've got a series of slides we're going to go through, and maybe I can bring this home for a landing eventually. But are you familiar with CRISPR technology? CRISPR. CRISPR technology. And I do want to acknowledge we have one smart person in the house. I'm not the Defense Advanced, and it's hard to I can't find the comment. DARPA, the definition of DARPA. The way these comments are played, I can't. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the website for Policy Horizons Canada, because I kind of talked about this mostly in terms of, Klaus Schwab and World Economic Forum and so forth. And what I should have done is I should have spent more time. Well, I needed to do that, but there's more to it. So I believe you can still see what I'm saying. I just want to show you. This is their Exploring Biodigital Convergence, which is a soft term for humanism. And as you scroll down, there's this Kristen van der Ilst that used to work for World Economic Forum. And I just want to just start picking out a couple of things. 3 ways biodigital, that's transhumanism, convergence is emerging. Full physical integration of biological and digital entities. Co-evolution of biological and digital technologies. Conceptual convergence of those systems. Now look at this. Biodigital convergence is opening up striking new ways to change human beings. Aren't you comforted by that? They're going to be able to change human beings. I'm just floored. Okay, to change human beings, our bodies, minds, and behaviors. Change or create other organisms, alter ecosystems. So how are you feeling about that so far? Do you like the idea of transhumanism, of digital brain implants? And I'm going to show you that their presenting of realistic, futuristic scenarios includes brain implants. In their world, you will be walking around with a brain implant. It's not just for the people that need like a cochlear implant for their hearing or some kind of specialized implant for some kind of medical, that has an extreme condition. Oh, no. Regular, everyday people, everybody needs to have a brain implant. I just hope you can get a good deal on it. Okay, I'm gonna come back over here and let's looky here. There was something else I wanted to show you. Okay, this is just a little bit further down on the page. Full physical integration of biological and digital entities. Second paragraph, robots with biological brains and biological bodies with digital brains already exist, as do human computer and brain machine interfaces. Do you feel like you're missing out? When a new car comes out, like when they changed the like say the Ford Fusion a few years back, they changed the shape and the look of it. And so everybody that had bought one in the last year, all of a sudden you feel like, oh man, my Fusion looks old and out of date. Are you feeling like you're kind of old and out of date because you got that old brain implant that isn't near as fast and near as cool as the newer brain implants? But in their world, everybody's going to have a brain implant. So let me just keep rolling here. I guess I found that. Let me get into the story. If I get into the story, this is a story that's included as a futuristic scenario. I touched on this a few episodes back, but let's just read a little bit, shall we? And I apologize, I don't have the soft music in the background. I wake up to the sunlight and salt coastal air of the Adriatic Sea. I don't live anywhere near the Mediterranean, but my AI, which is also my health advisor. Can you imagine a world in the future where you have a health advisor that's an AI? Now, is that AI licensed? Did that AI go to medical school to be your health advisor? I just wonder. I wake up, my health advisor has prescribed, has prescribed a specific air quality, scent, and solar, prescribed, by the way, not recommended, and solar intensity to manage my energy levels in the morning, and has programmed my bedroom to mimic this climate. Now look at this. everything looks all right. So I check my brain's digital interface to read the dream data that was recorded and processed in real time. Last night, my therapy app analyzes the emotional responses I expressed while I slept. It suggests I take time to be in nature this week to reflect on my recurring trapped in a box dream and enhance helpful subconscious neural activity. My AI recommends a forest day. I think, okay, and my AI and neural implant do the rest. How do you feel about a world where everybody has a digital implant? I mean, as you go through this futuristic scenario, this lady has maybe a mild issue with mild diabetes, but I mean, a lot of people do. So in this suggested realistic futuristic scenario, she has a brain implant because, everybody has just what I'm saying, folks, is think about this. And I believe this Policy Horizons Canada, I believe that's funded by the government. I don't think this is just an NGO. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm missing it. But anyway, these people are posing to the world that it's normal at some point in the future for everybody to have a digital implant. And they go through all kind of things where you could be working in Canada, but you're really working in your mind for some company in South America or Africa or whatever. And then they talk about tax structures. How do you tax that and whatnot? And folks, if you think about it, it's monitoring every single thing about your entire being. Okay. There's all I can do is scratch the surface. Yeah. I'm not getting any comments because everybody left. They're scared and I get it. Okay. I'm just scratching the surface. Look, I wanted to say this. I remember probably about 2009, I got my first Facebook invitation. Had no idea what Facebook was. I worked in the insurance industry. And somebody that I was a team member with that was from Florida sent me an email, which, we would have reason to send email back and forth. And there was a link to Facebook. Had no idea what that was. And I remember going on and just what really stuck out in my mind was a picture of a family I didn't know. So there's mom and dad and all their beautiful looking children, including a beautiful teenage daughter. And I thought, this is the creepiest thing I've ever seen. Now, this is the way it hit me first. I thought, my gosh, families are putting family photos out there for the whole world to see, along with where they live and where they work. And so all the online creeps can say, ooh, there's a family in North Carolina and they got a beautiful, teenage daughter. And you know what? My first instincts were right. Because 60% of all child trafficking involves Facebook. But it was like, I'm not going to give up my pride. I was just, no way. Well, like the rest of most of society, I have caved. Okay, so let's talk about my caving here for a moment. Okay, so Facebook. Now, do you realize the amount of data that you and I have just freely given to Facebook? They know who I follow. They know what I think. They know that if they put a bot in a certain conversation and they say something ridiculous, they know if I will counter that or not, or go back and forth with not. So they have learned a lot about me. They got my number. Sometimes my brothers say, Everett, you need to be careful with what they say, because I say, Steve, they've already got me pegged, man. They know where I'm coming from. I'd be crazy not to. All right. So personal data, you get the concept. We've surrendered a lot of personal data. Here's something else I'm just going to encourage you to think about. And I know nobody's listening by now. I'm talking to myself. I got one person in the audience, but that's okay. I'll get it off my chest. Okay. But I want you to think about this. Besides getting individuals over that first hoop of saying, okay, I guess this is okay, where I just give a complete stranger all this information. And for the longest time, you didn't know they were tracking all the stuff that they're tracking, but now you do. And you're like, well, okay, I'm already in this. How do I get out? So I guess I'll keep doing it, but I'll try to be careful about certain things. So all that's going on, your personal data. But I want you to think about this concept. there's something else that's happened. And the something else that I'm talking about is this. Big tech and Silicon Valley has gotten the whole of society to involve themselves in the biggest science project ever undertaken. And here's what I mean. As all the human beings are surrendering all their data, including all their speech, which I'm going to talk about specifically in a minute because that clip did, we have given them data that they are able to instruct and inform themselves about how people think, about how people grow, about how people develop, about how to control populations. So I'm not doing the best job of describing this, but folks, it's more than just capturing your data. It's the ability to look at a macro level of all this data in real time and learn how to control people. Because ultimately, now please follow me on this. The 2 or 3 of you that are still with me, please follow me on this. In the same way that they're talking about a brain implant, the smartphone to them is the first edition of that. You see, because in that smartphone, you do financial transactions. In that smartphone, you track, some people have health, apps. In that smartphone, you track weather, all these different things of your life. And you're teaching them how human beings interact with that. But ultimately, they want all of that in here. And that's a very, very creepy thought. Speaking of creepy thoughts, let's just keep rolling here. Okay. Creepy thoughts. All right. We're in the story here. Let me pick this paragraph. The summary of my BugBot surveillance footage shows that my apartment was safe from intruders, including other BugBots. What are BugBots? Those are man-engineered insects. They're talking about it like that's going to be a normal thing. They've been working hard collecting data. Wait a minute. Okay. You've got your own collection of bug bots that go out and monitor the other bad insects, but you describe them as they've been working hard. It's like you're just ascribing a personality to them. I mean, when I get off of the 360 mower that I mow the grass with, I don't care if I've been mowing for a couple of hours. Do I ever think in my mind, my lawnmower has been working hard? No, because it's a machine and it's not alive. Oh my God. Mine has been working hard collecting data. Ooh, I want to go out there with a cool towel. And I want to go out there with a cool towel and I want to wipe those bug bots' sweaty brow and say, there, bug bot. You've worked hard enough. Here's some iced tea. And I'm sorry, folks. This is just, but the number of mosquitoes and Lyme-carrying ticks they normally hunt to replenish their energy was smaller than expected. With a thought, I order some more nutrient support for them. With a thought. So how do you order that with a thought? You do it with your brain implant. But just remember, that brain implant only decodes the thoughts that you are okay with it decoding. It doesn't decode the thoughts that you don't want it to. Before I forget, can we just talk about the Microsoft 060606 patent that ties into neural activity, emotional activity, and it's designed that if it can be hooked up with some kind of a device, like say a brain implant, then if you think and feel the right things, it will begin a cryptocurrency transaction. And so you get paid for thinking and feeling or doing the right things. I was wondering about this the other day. What if you then think or feel the wrong things? Does it take money out of your bank? Uh-oh. You thought a bad thought about Mark Zuckerberg, so you just lost some money. There's one other things I want to get to. Folks, listen. I know there's only one person left in the audience, and that's me. And I don't blame you, because this is creepy. This is creepy stuff. But I will say this in my defense: there's people that actually think that way. Now, where was I? While I'm brushing my teeth, Jamie, my personal AI. Oh, so you can have more than one AI. You can have a health advisor AI, but you can also have a Jamie AI, which is my personal AI. Asked if I'd like a delivery drone to come pick up my daughter's baby tooth, which fell out 2 days ago. The epigenetic markers in children's teeth have to be analyzed and cataloged on our family genetic blockchain in order to qualify for the open health rebate. Now think about this. Your genetics tied into open health rebates. In other words, it puts the concept out there that if you want the best rates on your health insurance, well, we need access to your genetic information. And I don't have the comments, folks. I know there's comments there, but it's harder for me to follow them completely in real time. So I guess there are 2 people with me. No, I appreciate you being with me. I feel like this is an audience killing subject, but I want to get it out there. Okay. I'll move it along. But genetic information being tied to healthcare and your health rates and they're positing this as though that should be normal. Well, let me ask you a question, and I can show you documentation on this. What if you had a child that was born with a disability? What if you had a Down syndrome child? Well, then you could literally, and I think of some family friends that I have friends, and I would dare not say names because that's like violating anonymity, but I got a friend that very recently I saw there, and I'm just doing the math because I don't live where they used to live. Their probably 40-year-old son, Down syndrome, happy, joyful, wonderful. But you know what? There are people in this world. I could imagine a scenario where if you had some kind of any kind of debilitating health situation, that, can you imagine the guys walking in and saying, all right, your son can't walk because of this, or he's got cerebral palsy, and so it's time for his genetic upgrade, his genetic therapy. Well, I'm not sure I'm comfortable with that. Well, ma'am, we've got to give him this genetic therapy because otherwise he won't be able to function and he won't qualify for fill in the blank life. No, if you expect us smart people to allow your son with cerebral palsy to live on this planet, he's going to have to, toe the line. He's going to have to do his fair share, and in order to do so, he's got to get this genetic therapy done. Folks, what I'm saying is that's apropos to what they're saying. Hey, I got one more thing. I got one more I'm going to go to. I want to find this. Where is it? Okay, here we go. This story is so interesting to read, but she's almost done. As my coffee pours, I check my daughter's latest school project, which has been growing on the counter for the past week. Think about your daughter's school project. Here's what it is. She's growing a liver. We've all done it. It was a lot of fun in elementary school. Mom, can I grow a liver? Actually, I can't remember ever doing that. She's growing a liver for a local puppy in need as part of her empathy initiative at school. More stem cells are on the way to start a kidney too, because she wants to help more animals. I grab my coffee brewed with a certain carbon negative bean variety and sit on the couch for a minute. All right, folks, I think I'm ready to bring this in for a landing. Just keep in mind now, I believe that this Policy Horizons Canada, I believe, are funded by the government. But, actually, it occurred to me that could be an NGO that just thinks that just because they exist, they speak for all of Canada. But, folks, this is worldwide. This is Klaus-wide. This is Schwab-wide. This is, and we are going to be getting to some of this in some other episodes. But, folks, there are people that think this way. There are people that think this way, and they're knocking on your back door. And so, if I've even raised the subject, folks, we need a great awakening. We need a great awakening, because this reminds me so much of the serpent's temptation to Adam and Eve. Eat this fruit and you'll be like gods. Eat this fruit and you'll be like gods. It's so tempting to think all this technology, we'll just become a race of superhumans. We'll be transhuman. And you know what? You don't hear any speech about God in any of that. That's because it's Luciferian, folks. All right, I'm down to the end here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. If you are totally creeped out, please type in the comments, I'm totally creeped out, and I would appreciate it. Felt like I was supposed to talk about this. So listen, thank you very much. I will go through comments. If you can go to our website and help us out with these little efforts, any amount on PayPal is appreciated. Sign up for our email blast. Please like, please share, please subscribe, do all the above. And your links and contributions to research are certainly appreciated. And with that, I'm going to say God bless you. God bless your family. I will look at comments off the air. God bless the state of Ohio. And God bless the United States of America.
I hear the sweet sound of freedom.